Hey folks, Annette Evans with On Her Own here. It's been a week, and a lot of that week has been this Happy Meal looking weapon thing, as somebody called it. It's the Go Guarded ring, and it's bad. Not because it's going to break your finger, not because it's going to cause the degloving, or even because it's poorly set up for a proper punch, but because it's going to give you false confidence. Keep in mind, pretty much everything might work for self-defense, but you deserve solutions that are reliable and that stack the odds in your favor, not ones that might work if you get lucky. To understand why this thing isn't going to work, we have to start by understanding what the normal attack on a woman looks like. It's not going to be a bar brawl. It's not going to be a schoolyard fight where two people are squaring off against each other, throwing fists. Instead, it's going to look more like a grab or a drag, some other kind of clinch situation where the attacker has his hands on the woman. Inside a clinch, it's hard to target strikes and it's hard to generate power for those strikes. And that's really problematic because it's hard for untrained fighters to do either of them, especially if they're women. This thing is essentially intended to be a force multiplier. The problem is that 0 multiplied by any kind of multiplier is still 0. Everyone, including me, thought of this as a striking tool first, but it could also be used as some sort of pain compliance tool if you push it into somebody, jam it into them really hard. But pain compliance, as I've talked about before, is completely unreliable because your attacker might be determined, they might be angry, they might be adrenalized, they might be on drugs, or they simply might have a high pain tolerance. You can't count on just making somebody hurt in order to make them let you go. Much like you might not notice cuts or bruises until after a fun or distracting activity like a pickup sports ball game with your favorite friends and family, the bad guy might not feel any scratches or other pain from this thing until it's too late to do you any good. Besides, this thing is probably legally considered a knife because of the serrations on both sides. In fact, a lot of places would call it a dagger, a double-edged blade. And it has all of the downsides that go with carrying a blade legally, such as the fact that it's lethal force. Knives, by definition, are considered lethal force, and none of the upsides of an actual knife by being able to cause the kind of damage that actually stops attackers. You deserve better. I'm not saying that you have to go out and buy a gun or carry a real knife, but you could start by carrying pepper spray and get the kind of training and the kind of knowledge that might help you avoid a problem from coming and getting to you. And you can also benefit from some grappling-based training about how to survive the clinch. Either way, don't rely on toys like this. Get real tools and get real strategies because you deserve real safety.